don't have to be a narcissist in order for you to accept and acknowledge that the relationship is toxic and unhealthy and it's killing you slowly or fastly. It's irrelevant whether or not they are a narcissistic person. Oftentimes I coach people one-on-one and they're in this place of, Kevin, are they a narcissistic person? Which ultimately gets into this territory of, Kevin, what about me? Am I the narcissistic person? And herein lies the problem. When you're too focused on whether or not you're dealing with a narcissistic person, it gets into this dicey territory where, well, maybe you're the narcissistic person. Because after all, in a toxic relationship, all that ends up happening is you start pointing the finger at each other. You're this, 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 and that. And they're going to tell you, well, I'm this, 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 and that because you're this, 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 and that. Herein lies the reality of a toxic relationship. Now, when we talk about narcissism does matter, but not the way in which you think. We don't talk about narcissists and narcissism so that you can diagnose the partner that you're with. We talk about narcissism and narcissists so that you can understand the weight and the gravity of your toxic relationship so that you can make the best decision for yourself and for your life. You don't have to label them a narcissist to do the best thing for you and for your life. When it comes to your personal safety and well-being, it doesn't matter if they are a narcissist or not. Let's get into this. My name is Kevin. This is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Wow, look at that. A bus and a truck playing chicken. That was interesting. As I said, I'm glad it wasn't me playing chicken with the bus. You know what I'm saying? I would have lost that battle. My name is Kevin. This is The Royal We, folks. Before I do continue with this very important message, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls. I take video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. In addition to one-on-one appointments that I encourage you to head on down there, schedule time with me. If you're in a place where you're in a toxic relationship and you're wondering who the narcissist is, I will help you sort that out, just between you and me. Now then, I do have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person each and every day. It's centered around a community. I give you a journal and a diary to start planning and mapping out your future, your 2024, so you can step into your purpose, your calling, and into relationships that aren't toxic. I am bringing back Royal We Fellowship. It's already started. So for those of you who missed the Royal We Fellowship, it is an exclusive part of the Royal We Coaching Program. We are getting deep into the Bible, the part of the Bible, the side of the Bible that your church and your pastors won't touch. We're talking about navigating narcissism and how to protect and guard your heart in this life. We're not talking about how to go out and love abusive people, which is the typical message of churchianity today. Now, I'm not trying to come at churchianity. I'm just saying if you're looking for the side that helps you to protect yourself so that you can live the life God's called you to live, join the Royal We Coaching Program. Also, every Thursday, I am helping other coaches. So if you have a desire to be a coach or help people in your community or on YouTube, join the Royal We Coaching Program for a backstage pass. Anyways, that was long-winded, but there's a lot going on. I wanted to share it with you. Hopefully, there's enough good scenery around here to keep you distracted while I'm flapping my lips at you. Now let's get into this territory of why it doesn't matter who the narcissist is or if they're narcissists, but at the same time, why it does. So, as I said earlier, we're going to begin with why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the sense that if you're in a toxic relationship, the relationship is toxic. And you don't need to label them as a narcissist in order to accept that it's toxic. Part of being in a toxic relationship is that they're accusing you. That's kind of their shtick. When we talk about narcissistically abusive people, you have to remember that they have a victim mentality in life in general. They're victims of everything. Narcissistic people, their cruelty, their demeaning, devaluing, mean, cruel, malevolent nature comes from an inherent, never-ending victim mentality. They're victims of their childhood. They're victims of work. They're victims of the world. They're victims of their last relationships. And what this victimhood, this victim mentality allows them to do is it allows them to be cruel and nasty. After all, somebody who's constantly being attacked, somebody who's being treated unfairly, has every right to say what they want to say, to treat people the way they want to treat people. This is what the victim mentality of narcissistically abusive people, this is what it allows them to do. And this is why it's so important to understand this. So their attacks on you, right? Obviously, it's your fault. This is why when you get to this point of understanding whether or not they're narcissists, and it doesn't matter. They're going to look at you as the narcissist because they're the victim. The most important thing for you to understand in these relationships is that, no, it's toxic. Neither one of you are happy. It's a horrible exchange of a relationship. There's no togetherness. There's no unification. There's no intimacy. There's no affection. There's no commonality anymore. Everything is lost. All that you will gain in this toxic relationship is being crapped on, being smeared. You gain nothing in this relationship, right? You're going to take away something from the relationship. The takeaway is never to be in a relationship like that again. That's the only positive thing that comes out of narcissistic abuse, is a new awareness and an ability to avoid relationships like that. So there is a positive takeaway for your life. However, the reality is that no, if it's toxic, you don't need to label them anything. You just need to accept it's not going anywhere. It's bad. Now, that's why it doesn't matter. And I encourage people who are leaving toxic relationships, I encourage them all the time. I say, look, don't worry about telling them that they're narcissistic or they're mean and cruel, and that's why the relationship needs to end, because all you're going to do is draw out another fight. It's much better in these situations to distance yourself and say, hey, look, neither one of us are happy. You're not happy, neither am I. I'm going to find what makes me happy. You need to go find your happiness, because it's not me. Obviously, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're cussing, so if you think I'm victimizing you in the situation, then go, because I don't want to victimize you anymore, nor do I want to be a victim. The relationship is a toxic, hellish nightmare, so let's just end it. That's it. All right? So that's why it doesn't matter, but let's real quick talk about why narcissism does matter, why we talk about it. Because as I said before, it gives gravity and weight to the reality that it is, in fact, a toxic relationship. You see, back before narcissism was something that people were talking about, people just labeled others as mean, jerks, assholes, bullies, whatever. And in Western world churchianity, along with your grandmother, grandfather, farmland ways in which they lived, it was okay. I mean, and they suffered through it. They had this attitude of, oh, they're just assholes, they're just jerks, just deal with it. Whatever happens in the family, sweep it under the rug, type of all this nonsense. And so we are coming out of generations of allowing that to take place, and you and I are the first ones in this generation and this time to say, hell no. Hell to the no. We're not sweeping things under the rug anymore. Hell to the no. Not letting bullies in our life saying whatever they think they want to say. Hell to the no. Relationships are going to be mutually edifying from here on out. We are going to edify each other, help each other to grow, become the best versions of ourselves. And if I'm not in a relationship with family or with people that's doing that for me, the same that I want to do for them, then they're out. They're not family. Period. End. Then it's not love. It's not my wife. It's not my husband. It's not. You and I in this generation are able to do that largely because of the topic of narcissism, because it's given gravity. Now we have a label that goes beyond the label of bully, the label of jerk, the label of whatever. We no longer are giving people excuses. Oh, you come from a rough background where you were, well, blah, 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 all this stupid nonsense, because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what their background is. It doesn't matter if they were abused as kids. And most of it's baloney anyways. Some of the worst narcissistically abusive people I've ever come across, well, I'm just going to tell you straight up, they were spoiled, rotten kids. They've never been abused. They've never experienced that. And out of their spoiledness and lack of discipline did they become violent and hostile, not the other way around. So don't let bullies and abusive people tell you that, oh, they had it so rough. We've all got it rough, folks. And so narcissism has allowed us to finally use a word that allows us to separate from them, saying, I get it now. We are so different, and your bullying nature, your attitude, it's a part of narcissism, and I don't need to be a part of that. I'm not going to be a part of your narcissistic abuse anymore. And so you can use that label, but it's for you. It's not to determine whether or not they are one so you can leave. Narcissism is used as weight to help you make the decision that you need to make. Does this make sense? I hope so. As I said before, I am here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls as well as video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So head on down there, schedule some time with me right now. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you. Also, I have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person each and every day. And also Royal We Fellowship and Backstage Pass. So head on down there. There's a lot to get enrolled in. If you're new to the Royal We, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future Royal We videos. And I will be back with more right here on the Royal We. Bye.